Alright, so the DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet just dropped, and I wanted to talk about the team that I used post-home pre-DLC before we hit this new meta of Shell Smash Torterra and just like other bullshit. So it started with this team, which I was looking at the ceiling and saw the sky, which is like honestly kind of a balanced team. When you look at it, it's 4 offensive mons and then 2 like mega walls. Like Clodsire is a super spit F wall. I've got water absorb on it because it just like beats Rotom Wash. And then Corviknight is like the physical wall, and then Iron Defense Body Press is like enough that it can kind of take care of a lot of things. And then I just kind of threw 4 offensive mons with it. 2 pseudo defensive mons, like Landorus can be defensive and Zapdos can be defensive, but I decided to go offensive in this case. Thinking about it, Landorus probably doesn't need max speed, but that's what I ran and that's what we rolled with. And then just like 1 like cleaner type of mon. This is actually supposed to be, well, I've made a lot of revisions to this team. This Enamorus is actually supposed to be Choice Scarf with, what is this? Mystical Fire, and then just regular Gambit with Terra Fairy. Terra Fairy and not max speed because I feel like I don't really need max speed with low kick on this team. I don't think I just have so many ways to deal with other King Gambit. So it started off as this, and I mean I was playing tons and tons of teams here. Well, you'll see I have a lot of revisions of the same team. But I'm playing tons of teams here, and I'm just like not really gelling with them. And it's because a lot of people are either playing hyper offense, or they're playing like just offense, like a balanced offense, or a not balanced offense, that's not a thing. They're either playing a regular offense or like a bulky offense. Or stall. Those are like the 3 big play styles right now. And I've always just been more of a balanced player. So it's been kind of hard trying to find balanced teams. Because we kind of seem to be in this offensive meta. I tried to find offensive teams. There's this nice Psy Spam team or Psychic Terrain team that I thought was really easy to play. Like you send in EZD. And then you sit in Hatterene to eject button out. And then you send either Armory Sneasler or Poltergeist in. Sneasler has Psychic Seed. These 2 are just setup guys. And it's like an easy team to use, but like if you're ready for Psychic Terrain, then you can just kind of beat Psychic Terrain and it's not a big deal. And then I know what like the good Pokemon in the meta are, like Sandy Shocks is good. History and Samurott is like super good. Golden Goat is like super good. And I tried using these guys for a long time, but I just couldn't get behind them. So I switched into this idea of, okay, well maybe offense isn't my thing. Maybe I try for a bulky offense kind of thing. And this is like offense through and through. Like every mod just attack. But as you can see, I've got like 3 assault vests on this team. And then physically defensive Moltres and a ton of physical defense on this Hoopa set. I got this Hoopa set, I think, from Splunder CTC. Really cool set, and I really wanted to use it. But with the nature of this team, it still like loses to stuff. So as you can see, I've got like 6 revisions of it, and I just ended up not really liking the team. So I went back and I was like, okay, well, what made this Ceiling Sky team kind of my favorite? Well, it's this Clodsire Corviknight core. And I'm like, well, what other like defensive cores exist out there? I mean, I know of like a Fire Water Grass core. I know of like a Voltorn core. But like, what kind of defensive cores exist in this game? And I kind of like this especially defensive core. Like, it just reminds me of Scar and Bliss back in the day. But Skarmory, Blissey don't really like do much. So I ended up finding this Akali team, which was I think from July, so like not too long. It's either June or July, but not too long after Pokemon Home came out. And this core of Ting-Lu Toxapex, which he says is like one of the best mons in the tier. This defensive core of Ting-Lu setting up hazards and going for Whirlwind, and then Toxapex going for Infestation, Toxic, and then you've got Haze because you just need Haze on it. You need a way to deal with setup on a team, just because it's rampant, it's all over the place. I kind of like this team. It felt really nice to play. It felt really nice to switch between the two defensive cores here. The issues that I had with this team, like this is a team that's gotten #1 on the ladder, so we know it's very, very good. For me, I was tired of Hurricane missing, like in crucial spots, and like wanting to rely on Hurricane. I was having a big issue with that missing. And Goldengo, he has specs on his team, and he's got modest max special attack, max speed kind of thing. Goldengo I know is a good mon, but it's just like, it's too slow. Like even at max speed, it's hitting 295, which is like pretty good, but 295 gets outsped by like Great Tusk, who is like the most important Pokemon in the meta right now. It gets outsped by, any kind of offensive Landorus T or anything like that. So I just always have a tough time finding a way for Goldengo to get in and to start doing damage. I mean, this is a cool set. Choice Specs trick is like good against stall, and then we just have good moves here. And again, Focus Blast just misses. And I was just sick of relying on that, and then sick of Goldengo's speed. So I decided to make my own team here, and I'm just gonna call it the Tivo Ting-Lu Pex core, and it's just a balance team because I keep trying to play these different styles, and quite frankly, I'm a balanced player because balance makes sense. And let me talk through at least this first iteration of the team. Balance makes sense because if my opponent sends in, well, whatever the lead is, if they have a physically offensive Pokemon and my Pokemon that I have in isn't Toxapex, I will send in Toxapex or I'll send in Moltres. Just because there are very clear answers there's a very clear game plan. You see an offensive mon and you send in the defensive counterpart. And what's cool about this team is I've got kind of a double defensive core going. I mean, Ting-Lu Toxapex, which I think puts in a ton of work. Ton of work. But then I've also got Garganacl, specially defensive Garganacl, who does sponge hits really well, but Saltcure is this nice chip. It's just this nice offensive presence that a defensive Pokemon can have, and I'm not relying on Toxic. Toxapex can't stay in forever with Infestation anyway. But just these two ways, Saltcure and Infestation, these two ways to kind of chip my opponent down to the point where Dragapult can come in and just click Shadow Ball, or Zamazenta can come in and just click, well, whatever, because this Zamazenta I decided to make Assault Vest. I don't really remember why I switched off of this team. I think the first match I played with this team was against Rotom Wash with Thunderwave, and just, it just beats me. Like, I can send in Ting-Lu, but even then, it's not a very fun matchup into Rotom Wash. So I decided against it. I still kind of like this team. Zamazenta, I think, would probably be better, like, fully offensive, but no, this is offensive. Well, but maybe with like a choice band, just to like hit hard, because it's just nice to like hit hard after you've got these 4 defensive mons. If you bring them down to like 75 or 50% HP, choice band Zamazenta, even if the attack gets resisted, it's gonna, whatever it's in, it's gonna die. So I ended up revising it twice. I knew I wanted Greninja because Protean Greninja just like hits hard, And the type change people aren't really expecting these days because so many more people are running Battle Bond Greninja. But to switch into something, turn grass and then take something out. I think I was also having trouble with like Dondozo, which isn't like a huge to do with this team, but it's nice to take it out, you know. Dondozo and then grass types, or not grass types. Yeah, grass types with Ice Beam and then Great Tusk with Surf. It's just nice to have these moves, and it's nice to be like decently fast. Now 254 only hits, or sorry, Modest only hits 343 speed, which I think is like good enough because at the end of the day, if I'm max speed anyway, what am I outspeeding? Cinderace? And... wait, are all of these in OU? Oh, it's because today they added all the new mons. Sneasler? Yeah, max speed isn't doing like too much for me. And I think I just prefer the extra damage. Plus, everyone's going to kind of expect max speed Greninja anyway. And the things that are faster than Greninja, I'm not staying in on. Like, if it's a Sneasler, I'm switching in one of my physically defensive Pokemon. Probably Moltres to get a burn on it. Or to fish for a burn on it. And then, I kind of wanted to try Bax. But it just wasn't... I felt like I was losing to hazards. So we added on Great Tusk. And it's... the tough thing about Great Tusk is just figuring out what set to use. I knew I needed Rapid Spin on this team because I prefer switching around a lot, and there was no other way to remove hazards. I've got hazards on my team, but no way to get rid of them. So Rapid Spin, super important. Knockoff, great new move to have. I don't think anything else has knockoff on this team. Does Tinglu get knockoff now? I don't remember. This is an old team anyway. Great Tusk, knockoff, and then just an offensive Great Tusk, I think, is kind of what this team needed. I thought about physically defensive Great Tusk because, what is it? I think it's like 393 defense or something. 397, that's even crazier. That like 397 defense set is just like, it's just wall stuff, but it still hits hard because it's Great Tusk. So I was running that set for a bit, but I think at the end of the day, just something offensive to hit things, I think is super important. I still like this Greninja set. I don't have a reason to change it yet. I had this as like Terra Grass or Terra Ice. I think I'm just going to stick with Water. I think that's totally cool. I'm considering... There was some fighting type that I was fighting against that I think I could have appreciated Terra Ghost for, but Terra Water Greninja I think is just fine. Because I'm using Surf, if I was using Hydro Pump, Terra Water is not like super necessary. But I still have to run some calcs anyway. Terra Water Garg, I'm still kind of on the fence about, because in this match that I'm going to show, I ran into a Garganacl that I thought was kind of annoying to deal with. And if I was Terra Fairy Garganacl, would have been a much better matchup against their Terra Water Garg. But I think Terra Water Garg is good for... It's good for rain teams. It's good for some sun teams. I mean, Terra Water Moltres is good for sun teams. So I've got like my answer there. And then Terra Ghost Tinglu, of course, you gotta, for me at least, after I set up my spikes and my rocks, well, I'll set up my rocks, and then I'll find opportunities to set up spikes that they just can't deal with. You know, any specially defensive Pokemon that Tinglu switches in on, or especially offensive Pokemon that Tinglu switches in on, just throw up a spike. There's nothing they can do. And then Terra Ghost, because I'd rather... If a Great Tusk comes in, and it's threatening a spin or it's threatening a knockoff, I'd rather just Terra Ghost, probably eat the hit, and then Whirlwind the Tusk out. Like, that amount of damage is worth it to me on Great Tusk or whatever switches in. I haven't used Earthquake that much. I don't know what I would switch it to. but I don't know what else you would run in this slot. But really, I use Stealth Rock, Spikes, Whirlwind. And then I don't use Haze very much with Toxapex either. I just haven't run into that many like pure setup teams. It's going to be a little more common with the upcoming meta, so I don't know if this team's going to hold up. But I thought this team did pretty well in the post-home pre-DOC meta, and I'm pretty happy with it. But let's look at one replay I played. This was like 1300, and as you can see, my alt is Beach Tiger Fan. I've got like 5 or 6 alts, and I'm just slowly climbing them all to 1400 as I try different teams. Each alt is using a different team. So Beach Tiger Fan is using these like balancy type of teams. I've got an account called Sidro Yu-Gi-Oh! Master that's playing, what is it? That Psychic Terrain team. This one. It's also playing it in RU. But anyway. So this battle, I just wanted to use to kind of showcase the team. I still think it could be, it'll be a good learning experience because I don't really watch my Pokemon replays, I just play. And I think this will be a good one to kind of figure some stuff out. So against this guy's team, I just kind of expect his Hisui and Samurott to be the lead. He could lead Amoonguss, he could lead Tusk. I assume he could lead Tusk because he needs to get rocks up. Garg could have rocks too, but Garg needs to run so many moves that, in my opinion, running rocks on Garganacl isn't ideal because Garganacl needs Recover, it needs Salt Cure. I like running Protect on it. I think that's super important. And then you've got one move left. Like, are you going to waste it on rocks? If your team doesn't have rocks, that's fine. But I feel like Curse is pretty nice. I feel like Body Press is pretty nice. Like, you just have to run... There are just too many moves that you could run in that 4 slot, and I'd rather not run rocks. So in my head, I'm thinking, okay, Guard probably doesn't have rocks. Probably Great Tusk. Or maybe he's just going for... maybe he's just going for spikes, and that's totally fine. But I was expecting Samurott to lead. So I lead Toxapex. Now he leads deadmeme.png. Amoonguss can't do much to Toxapex except for Spore. So if he's going to stay in, then I'm just going to go to Garganacl every time. And if he doesn't stay in, well, I have Garganacl in, and I can just throw out a Salt Cure, and that's totally fine. So I go Garg here on his Spore. And I'm expecting him to stay in and maybe like test out his damage. But either way, I'm going to Salt Cure every single time. Like, that's the game plan here. That's this balanced team in a nutshell. I'm going to switch out to whatever one of my 4 walls is. Moltres, Garg, Toxapex, Tinglu. And then I'm just going to do whatever chips them down. So we get a Salt Cure off. He goes for Giga Drain. I don't think he's going to switch. I think he's going to Giga Drain again. So I just go ahead and Protect. And if he switches, that's fine. I hope this game speed is fast enough. Yeah, it's fine. Totally fine. I didn't ask if you guys would prefer dark mode, huh? We'll do dark. Alright, now I'm expecting a switch, so I'm going to just Salt Cure again, because, like, why not, right? And if I'm going to Salt Cure again, and if on his side he thinks I'm going to Salt Cure again, Gudra's the worst Pokemon to send in here, because it is taking 25% from Salt Cure. I mean, that's huge. Like, that is huge chip on a super bulky Pokemon in this meta. And of course, I reveal Protect, but I have no idea what this Gudra's going to do. I really doubt it's going to set up, because most Gudra in this meta in OU are running like Choice Scarf. So I go for a Protect, which I think he should have just known, and he didn't. And he goes for a Flash Cannon. Of course I'm going Tinglu. Tinglu's going to eat this shit up. And if he stays in, he's going to go all the way down to, what, 19%? And if he doesn't stay in, well, I can just switch out to something else. But we go Tinglu, and it's going to be free rocks, right? Flash Cannon does 16, which is so bad. If it is Choice if it is choice specs, that is abysmal damage. But this is free rocks for me. Every single time. Free rocks, free rocks. I don't see a point earthquaking there, even though earthquake is gonna hit everything. I think it's more important to get rocks, because I feel like this guy's just gonna switch a lot. And I think I'm gonna make the same play. I'm just gonna go Garg, because if he goes for Giga Drain, it did what, 30? Yeah, 27. So if they go for a Giga Drain again, I don't care. It's totally fine. But then I just get off another Salt Cure. And then recover. Like, it's like totally fine. But yeah, he's just letting me get these Salt Cures off. Maybe he believes that he can win this 1v1. And I'm just going to let this play because the stall wars kind of begin. So I go for Protect, just kind of scouting him out. Now he's smart. And he predicts my Protect. And he goes for a Curse. Which is, you know, good play. I probably should have cursed instead of protecting there, and I'm going to keep that in mind for next game. I played a couple games after this, but now I start going for my curses, and the stall begins, and it's just going to be who decides to recover on what turn, who decides to attack on what turn. I Salt Cure again, because I don't want to... I want to kind of scout out the speed tiers here, and I kind of want to see if I'm faster every single time. And if I am, I don't want to lower my speed again, because it's nice to be the faster one to recover. And what you're seeing here is I'm winning every single speed tie. I think it would be dumb for me to protect here, and I did, which I'm like... I remember protecting in this game, and I thought it was a bad idea. I probably could have just recovered again. As they curse up, which is a good play on their part. Now I have to switch or else I die. What am I going to send in to take a Salt Cure? I don't think I want to send in packs. Yeah, what do I do here? Oh, I recover because I'm faster. We got to remember these things. Pokemon's hard. So I am running myself out of recovers, but it's like, it's fine. He's chipping himself down. On the turn that we both recover, I'm like, okay. I might be able to switch out. I might be able to curse again. What do I do? What should I do? I'm faster. I have enough HP to survive. I think I should curse. Yeah. And then they go for a cure, I guess, expecting me to switch, which is that's a fair play. Because at this point, he knows that I can't really touch him except with the Salt Cure chip. And he can touch me in very scary ways with Body Press. But I'm just trying to recover HP because I think I'm going to die to a body... Oh no, I don't die to Body Press. Because we're on the same attack defense now. But yeah, just kind of scouting him out. I think it'd be nice to curse again, actually. And then he decides to switch for whatever reason. I thought he was definitely going to win that stall war. So, misplay from my opponent's part. And they've made a couple misplays, like with their Goodriff. Do I curse again? Yeah. I think I can just throw off a Salt Cure on this thing. Because, like, I've already shown that I don't mind having Garganacl. Oh, I recover on this Giga Drain. Yeah, I don't mind keeping Garganacl in on their on Aramungus. They go for Clear Smog, which I think that's smart because now they'll take the minimal damage from Salt Cure, and then just kind of be able to heal that up. I think I recover. Oh no, I switch. I think I switch because I'm not expecting them to go for Spore on my Garg. Because I think I've made it pretty clear that I'm going to stay in with Garg, and I don't mind staying in with Garg. So yeah, I switch out and I go my Tinglu here. Oh, they double switch. Now, what's the best way to play this? Because I don't want to lose too much HP on Tinglu. if they just go for a Sulk here, I get spikes up, I guess. If they go for Curse, that's kind of a not the best play. I think they need to go for the chip here. And I think what ends up happening is they waste 2 turns. They decide to recover, they decide to Curse, and I just get 2 layers of spikes up. And it's not that big a deal for me. Do I Whirlwind here? Yeah, they body press instead of Salt Curing, which I think is interesting because if you're playing against like this balanced kind of style with like 4 defensive mons, well, your idea should be to kind of wear down those defensive mons. And the 12.5% every turn from Sulk here really adds up, like really adds up. So I think this guy kind of misplayed 3 turns here, going to recover, curse, and body press. It's just not doing that much. And I think I just Whirlwind him out into Golden Go, into Balloon Golden Go. Now, I know I can stay in here because I'm a Ting Lu on a Golden Go. Do I stay in? I think I just Whirlwind again. Either I Whirlwind again or I Spike, because a Spike is free on that guy. I think I Spike, which I think is the right play. And then I've mentioned this when we were looking at the team. I don't mind going for Terra Ghost in this situation because I really would rather keep these spikes up. And if he knockoffs, great play. But he rapid spins, and it's great. Gets Whirlwinded out to Gudra, who dies. Now it's like, okay, whoever comes in, it's probably this guy, right? Yeah. I mean, he takes a ton. An absolute ton. In my mind, I'm just going, okay, well, Moltres is like the switch in that I send in against this, right? Because it might die, but if it doesn't die, I've got a chance to burn. And I don't want to lose Ting Lu just yet. It could have been nice to keep Moltres for their Great Tusk, which I saw was offensive booster energy. But I just decided to go do it here. I don't want to lose Ting Lu to, what's that move called? To Ceaseless Edge. I don't want to lose Ting Lu to Ceaseless Edge, which I don't think I do unless they're choice banded. I'd have to. We can calc that actually. That's what I have. Ting Lu, which is defensive hazards. Yeah, that's the set, and then Samurai. Maybe I'll do SD since that's what he is. So Ceaseless wouldn't have... Terra Ghost. Ceaseless wouldn't have killed. So I probably shouldn't have switched there. Now if he was... Not Mystic Water. It was Choice Band. Which is not a thing, by the way. Oops. At 80%, Choice Band wouldn't have killed either. If he was Choice Band Adamant, then that would have had a chance to kill. So I'm realizing now I probably shouldn't have been as scared as I was. I probably could have just stayed. I should have just stayed Ting Lu and Whirlwinded again. Because, like, why not? But my excuse, my John for this is I was playing this on my phone, so I didn't have a calc. I was just playing on my phone. Yeah, I've staying with Moltres. I don't want to take anything with it. And I fish for the burn. Don't get it. And go for Greninja, because Greninja's so free, right? And he decides to stay in and die to Protean Grass Knot. Slow Protean Grass Knot, by the way. But slow Protean Grass Knot outspeeds his entire team. Which is why I don't mind Modest here. And then here, I decide to stay in, because I feel like I've got a chance to kill him with Ice Beam. We'll see here that I don't kill him, because I needed the... I needed the Protean boost. I needed the stab to kill it. But I'm trying to think of what I could have done instead if I thought he was going to Shadow Ball. Maybe I could have gone Ting Lu Maybe I could have gone Garganackle. I could have just gone Garg. Just kind of expecting. I mean, I didn't think he was going to Spore, but if I bring in Tinglu, he's probably going to Spore eventually. So yeah, this is... Garganackle is probably the play here. And then just recover on whatever he does. But instead, I sack my Greninja like an idiot. So that one's on me. Greninja sweeps this team. Like, without +1 speed, Great Tusk, it gets outsped and dies. Air Balloon, Golden Go, yeah, they're doomed. And then Garganackle, he's Curse, but Greninja will still do a ton of damage to it, and that's totally fine. So, kind of a bad play. Sacking Greninja here. Should have gone Garg. This too, like, it's kind of a showcase of this team, but it's also like, I mean, I want to review this battle and kind of see how I could have done better, but I hope it's also kind of nice to see kind of the thought process behind a lot of the moves I'm making, and then also the learning process that I'm having in figuring out how to improve my gameplay here. Because this is a team that I made. This is the team that, you know, because I made it, I know exactly how to play it, theoretically, but I still have to learn how to play it. So he's hitting Great Tusk, because Great Tusk will hurt anything with the Headlong Rush. He sacks his gold. Oh no, I just knock off. Well, knock off will F anything up, except for Great Tusk. So it works out. And he gets his Great Tusk here. And this is where I start playing a little weird. I don't know what set he is. He boosts your energy in a plus attack. Well, that could still be Jolly Max speed. And I don't really want to risk it. If he's going to... I don't want him to Rapid Spin, quite frankly. And if I'm faster than him, I don't want to attack him and then lower my attack, because my two attacks are Headlong Rush and Close Combat. I don't want to lower my defense to the point where he could potentially kill me or like hurt me a lot. So I think I switch out here. Yeah, I do. And again, this is just because I do not want him to spin, and I don't want him to get these rocks off. I don't want him to get these hazards off. I don't want him to get a plus speed boost. So I go Tinglu and I eat that shit up. I mean, this is especially defensive Tinglu, and we eat that shit up. So we're gonna we're gonna whirlwind him out. That does a lot of damage. Yep, thinking about it, I could have Earthquaked on this turn. If I thought he was gonna, you know, go for a Headlong or something like that. Because he's got -1 defense. I don't have much offensive investment on this, but I've got enough where I could Earthquake him and then put him in range of my Great Tusk. So that's something I gotta remember. But we do this little thing. He gets his Garg in, and he just kills off my Tinglu. So I'm making a couple misplays here. I think it's still a winnable position. I just need to, like, even despite sacking 3 Pokemon for essentially no reason, I think I still win this game. Like, it's still a very winnable position for me. So I go for a Headlong just to see how much damage it does and kind of force out the Terra. He's going to Terra and he's going to recover, like, obviously, right? Oh, he goes for Curse. Well, and that works out because that did 46. So this next turn, after its leftovers recovery, I'm not going to kill him. So I got to switch. Oh, I knocked him off. I guess get rid of the leftovers, right? But he's just going to recover. I guess in the long term, that's probably correct. Then we get a Pex. And I think with Pex, I think I was expecting him to Curse. Or, I mean, even then, if I take the Sulk here, I can just switch out and get my Regenerator. I think the better play here would have been to go Garganackle so that I could Sulk here him sooner. So this was another misplay. I'm misplaying all over the place, and I'm still gonna win. Very smartly, he goes for double Sulk here. maybe expecting the switch, probably expecting the switch. But I get Gargan. I Salt Cure him. And I forget. I remembered Body Press doing like 28%, but I forgot that we were on the same number of curses. Now he's +1 and I'm +0, so he just takes me out. But I got the Salt Cure off, which is more than enough because he Terra Watered, and that's why I was considering not being Terra Water Garg, so I could beat other Garganacl. But I do like the Terra Water for the Rain matchup, so I'm going to keep it for now. And I'll just not Terra, right? And I think I'm expecting him to stay in, so I'm like, okay, well, I can just Infestation, right? And then just continue chipping this thing down. Because it's going to be annoying to chip this thing down with like regular damage. But if I can just do regular chip damage, get the haze so that his Salt Cure doesn't do a lot of damage. It's what he did to me with his Amoonguss. And I'm trying to think of if I just keep Toxapex in. I think I do because I want to keep Infestation on him. Oh no, I switch. What a madman. Oh, that's fine though, because maybe I thought this out in the game. I don't remember. This game was a couple days ago. But I could have stayed in with Toxapex to get another Salt Cure Infestation turn off, and then eventually just wear him out of his recovers. I guess I didn't want to keep taking Salt Cure damage on Pex. Pex is Water type, so he's going to take the 25. But maybe I just knew that even after recover, he's going down to 39%. And guess what? How much did we do last time? That's his guy. Wait, where's mine? I did 46 to his Terra Water Garg. So that thing is dead. And he just decides to sack it. I mean, he's essentially lost, right? And then right here, I make another misplay just because I don't know the calcs. I'm thinking if I'm faster than him and I do another Headlong Rush and he survives, then I'm going to be -2 and he's going to Headlong Rush me and I'm going to die. Except that doesn't make too much sense because he was Booster Energy Attack and he's only at 26 HP. So what probably would have been the best thing to do would have been to Rapid Spin here. I need to know the calcs better, but knowing that there's nothing that this Great Tusk could do that could kill me at -1. If I just Rapid Spin here and just guarantee that I'm faster than him, if we both Rapid Spin together, it's not a big deal. Like we'll just both keep Rapid Spinning, and then eventually I'll figure out that one of us is faster or one of us is the same speed, and then I can either Rapid Spin again to try to gain the speed advantage or just Headlong to kill him. Instead, I switch out here. He gets his Rapid Spin off. He gets his +1. He's going to kill Pax. Oh, he doesn't kill Pax. What a weakling. Yeah, instead I sack Pax just because I was just being too safe, I think, and not really understanding of this matchup here. I just didn't want my Tusk to be -1. So we chip him down. He's faster. There's nothing he can do to kill me. But just in case that I'm going to be faster than him, I go for a Rapid Spin here. It's, again, not super necessary. I just thought it was... I don't even... Huh? Oh, there it is. Yeah, so I played a little safe. Honestly, made quite a few misplays, but, learned something from that. This account... I think this account's only at 1350. But yeah, I thought this was a good showcase of the team. And I also thought this was a good learning experience for me, just to see all of my little mistakes in there. There are a lot of ways that I could have played that better. But that just comes with playing the team. That's why you have to play a team a lot in order to know if a team is good or not, because you have to test it. You have to figure out how to play with it first, and then you can kind of figure out what kind of weaknesses it has. I do think I have a decently tough time against setup. So this team might not be the best for the immediate post-DLC era. It might be okay, because like the premier setup Pokemon right now is Shell Smash Torterra, which I don't think... which scares Toxapex a little bit, but not so much. It does, I think, I think Shell Smash Torterra does run Headlong Rush. So, yeah, kind of a scary Pokemon to deal with, but... on this team, it's so scary. I mean, Greninja's my answer, right? I need to get Greninja in before Torterra goes for a Shell Smash. Yeah, Torterra kind of like destroys this team. Torterra is also running like Rock Blast. I've seen some Terra Rock actually, which is kind of nuts. So we'll see if this team can hold up in the post DLC era, but I think in the post-home pre-DLC era, I think this team's not bad. It's probably not the perfect team, but it's a team that I feel very comfortable with playing. I think it would probably have a tough team again, or a tough matchup against just like a lot of setup. I think even though I've got a lot of walls, my walls don't really like getting chipped. Like my walls would rather stay in on Pokemon and then gain momentum in some kind of way, instead of taking, you know, big wall breaker attacks from Hoopa or like a +2 Icicle Crash. I don't think that would be very... Actually, do I have trouble against, who's the, do I have trouble against Bax? Earthquake is scary. Thermal Exchange? Yeah, Thermal Exchange kind of beats my Moltres. He beats up Tinglu. Earthquake hurts Toxapex enough. Yeah, I kind of have trouble against Bax with this team. I didn't really think about that. I have nothing to really hit it super effective except for close combat. And am I faster though? I think Bax hits 300. 87 base speed. Yeah, so at best I speed tie with Great Tusk. So maybe not the perfect team, and I haven't run into a Bax caliber yet, but soon. But anyway, thanks for tuning in. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to keep making teams. I'm going to keep going with this whole balance concept. It's just, it just seems to be my play style. Bulky offense is not my thing. Offense is not my thing. Hyper offense, it's easy to play-ish, but like you have to make some plays, and I'm not really willing to make those plays, I don't think. So, balance it is. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. You know, like, comment, subscribe if you want more Pokemon content. Or, you know, if you don't want more Pokemon content, write in a comment that you don't want more Pokemon content, and then we can make that happen. But yeah, thanks for tuning in. I'll check you guys out next time.